Aviation nightmare. Boeing 787. Dreamliner and the Ahmedabad tragedy. Were warnings ignored? On the afternoon of June 12, 2025, the skies above Ahmedabad, a bustling city in Gujarat, India, turned into a scene of horror when Air India flight AI-171, a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, plummeted into a densely populated residential area in Meghaninagar, just seconds after takeoff from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. The aircraft, carrying 242 passengers and crew members, was en route to Gatwick Airport in London when it issued a mayday distress signal merely 30 seconds after leaving the runway, before crashing into a dormitory at BJ Medical College, triggering a massive explosion and a thick plume of black smoke that engulfed the area. Initial reports indicate the tragedy claimed the lives of at least 241 people on board and at least 28 individuals on the ground, including medical students having lunch at the dormitory. Only one passenger, Viswash Kumar Ramesh, a 38-year-old British citizen of Indian origin seated in 11A near an emergency exit, was confirmed to have survived. Speaking to the media in agony, Ramesh recounted hearing a loud bang shortly after takeoff, followed by the aircraft spiraling out of control amid widespread panic. "I don't know why I'm still alive," he said, devastated to learn that his brother AJ, also on the flight, was not as fortunate. The disaster is not only the worst aviation tragedy in over a decade, but also marks the first fatal incident involving a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, a model once hailed as a technological marvel in the aviation industry. The event has immediately raised serious questions about the safety of this aircraft, particularly in light of warnings about structural issues that surfaced years earlier. Prior warnings. The Dreamliner's curse? In 2024, Sam Salehpour, a veteran Boeing engineer, sent shockwaves through the aviation world by publicly alleging that the production processes for the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and 777 were riddled with serious flaws that could lead to catastrophic failure. In a whistleblower complaint filed with the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, Salehpour highlighted that Boeing's cost-cutting measures had resulted in gaps between aircraft fuselage sections that were not properly filled. These minute gaps, though small, could cause excessive stress and structural wear over time, compromising the aircraft's integrity and increasing the risk of failure during long-haul flights. "I'm not doing this to smear Boeing, but to prevent a disaster," Salehpour declared during a 2024 press conference. He detailed alarming manual assembly techniques, including workers jumping on aircraft components to force them into alignment, a practice he deemed unacceptable in an industry that demands absolute precision. These allegations were not the first time the 787 faced scrutiny. From 2021 to 2023, the FAA forced Boeing to halt deliveries of the Dreamliner for nearly 2 years to investigate assembly issues, particularly tiny gaps in the fuselage that failed to meet standards. In 2013, the global 787 fleet was grounded due to concerns over lithium-ion battery fires. Although Boeing claimed to have resolved these issues and insisted that all operating aircraft were absolutely safe, warnings from Salehpour and others, including John Barnett, a former Boeing employee who died mysteriously in 2024, continued to fuel public skepticism about the company's transparency. Following the Ahmedabad tragedy, these past warnings seem to have morphed into a haunting curse. The question looms: were the production flaws truly addressed, or were they overlooked in favor of profits and delivery schedules? Boeing under fire. A history of scandals. Boeing, a global aviation giant, has long grappled with scandals related to safety and production quality. The Ahmedabad disaster comes just weeks after Boeing reached a settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice to avoid criminal prosecution over 2 fatal 737 MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019, which killed 346 people. Those incidents exposed critical flaws in Boeing's MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, software, as well as a lack of transparency in pilot training and production oversight. In 2024, another incident further tarnished Boeing's reputation when an Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 made an emergency landing after its door plug component blew out mid-flight due to assembly errors. This event, combined with whistleblower allegations from Salehpour and Barnett, prompted the FAA to intensify scrutiny of Boeing's manufacturing processes. However, these efforts appear insufficient to quell public fears, especially after the Ahmedabad crash. Boeing's stock plummeted over 8% in pre-market trading in the U.S. immediately following the crash, reflecting a severe loss of investor confidence. On social media, a wave of criticism targeting Boeing spread rapidly, with many users calling the incident a death knell for the company's reputation. The Dreamliner, technological marvel or hidden hazard. Introduced in 2011, the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner was heralded as a groundbreaking advancement in aviation. With 50% of its structure made of composite materials, the aircraft is lighter and 20% more fuel-efficient than traditional models like the Boeing 767. Equipped with cutting-edge technologies such as advanced navigation systems, fly-by-wire controls, and a synthetic vision system, the 787 became a top choice for major airlines, including Air India for long-haul routes. However, the Dreamliner's technological advantages cannot mask its production challenges. Reports indicate that the ill-fated aircraft, registered as VTANB, was delivered to Air India in January 2014 and had logged over 41,000 flight hours with nearly 8,000 takeoffs and landings. While these figures are typical for a 12-year-old aircraft, experts suggest that latent structural issues, such as fuselage gaps, could accumulate over time and lead to severe problems if not thoroughly inspected. Jeff Guzzetti, a former investigator with the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, noted, "The aircraft seemed unable to climb. There could be multiple reasons for this, from engine failure to control issues or other mechanical problems." However, he cautioned that it's too early to pinpoint the exact cause, as aviation accidents often result from a combination of factors, including pilot error, maintenance issues, or manufacturing defects. The investigation into the crash is being led by India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, AIB, with support from the NTSB, FAA, Boeing, and General Electric, the manufacturer of the Gen X engines powering the doomed aircraft. Investigators are focusing on recovering the black boxes, comprising the Flight Data Recorder, FDR, and Cockpit Voice Recorder, CVR, designed to withstand extreme conditions like impacts, fires, and water pressure. These devices will provide critical insights into the aircraft's speed, altitude, engine performance, and cockpit conversations leading up to the crash. CCTV footage from Ahmedabad's airport captured the moment the aircraft took off and rapidly lost altitude, with its nose pitched upward. But landing gear still extended, an unusual sign suggesting the pilots may have struggled to keep the plane airborne. Some experts speculate the issue could involve the engines, control systems, or an external factor like a bird strike. However, given prior warnings about structural issues, manufacturing defects remain a focal point. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a native of Gujarat, has personally overseen rescue efforts and expressed profound grief on social media platform X. The tragedy in Ahmedabad has left us stunned and heartbroken. These losses are more painful than words can express. He also ordered a green corridor to ensure ambulances could swiftly travel between the crash site and local hospitals. Air India, India's storied airline, has faced significant turbulence in recent years. Founded in 1932 by J.R.D. Tata, the carrier was state-owned until its acquisition by the Tata Group in 2022. Under new management, Air India has worked to revamp its image and modernize its fleet, with plans to purchase at least 20 additional Boeing 787s and numerous Airbus aircraft. However, the Ahmedabad crash has dealt a severe blow to these efforts, reviving memories of past safety incidents, including a 2020 crash in Kozhikode that killed 21 people. Following the disaster, Air India temporarily grounded its entire 787 fleet, pending investigation results. The airline established 2 hotlines to assist victims' families and pledged full cooperation with investigators. CEO Campbell Wilson stated, "We are deeply saddened by this tragedy and will do everything possible to support the affected families." The crash has drawn international attention, particularly as the flight carried 53 British citizens, 7 Portuguese nationals, and 1 Canadian. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he is closely monitoring the situation and extended condolences to the victims' families. Investigators from the UK's Air Accidents Investigation Branch, AAIB, have been dispatched to Ahmedabad to assist. In the US, President Donald Trump vowed to provide all necessary support to India, while the NTSB and FAA committed to collaborating with local authorities to determine the crash's cause. Boeing, in an official statement, said it has contacted Air India and is prepared to deploy experts to assist. However, with mounting pressure from the public and investors, CEO Kelly Ortberg, who assumed the role in summer 2024, canceled plans to attend the Paris Air Show, the industry's largest event, to focus on crisis management. The Ahmedabad tragedy is not only a profound human loss, but also a wake-up call for the global aviation industry. Whistleblower allegations from figures like Sam Salehpour and John Barnett have exposed a troubling reality. Pressures to maximize profits and meet production deadlines may have compromised safety standards. While Boeing repeatedly asserts the safety of its aircraft, the string of incidents in recent years, from the 737 MAX to the 787 Dreamliner, has severely eroded public trust in the company. As the investigation unfolds, the public continues to ask, could this tragedy have been prevented if prior warnings had been heeded more seriously? More critically, what will the aviation industry do to ensure that technological marvels, like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, are truly safe for the millions of passengers worldwide? With debris still scattered across the fields of Ahmedabad and families of the victims grappling with unimaginable grief, the world awaits answers. The aircraft's black boxes may soon reveal the truth, but whether that truth can restore faith in an industry built on safety and precision remains to be seen. Only time will tell.